Halevi, entry 7. He says, last time we were saying how about a person should know ishtadlut, more and more effort does not necessarily give you automatically more results. And he says sometimes it's actually the opposite. He says, not just is doing a lot of effort, not necessarily going to give you more results. It's going to actually give you worse results. Sometimes it can give you the opposite result. He says that what? Sometimes we see ishtadlut does not help you at all, doing more ishtadlut. And on top of that, it comes at his detriment. And you brought yourself to a worse situation. For example, he gives later a situation where what? Where Shlomo HaMelech, he saw, the Gemara Masechet Sukkah tells us, Nun Gimel, that King Shlomo, he was able to understand the language of the animals and could communicate with spirits. So one time he saw the angel of death, he was sad. So then he asked him why he's sad. He says, because there's two of your servants, the time has come, and I have to kill them, but I'm not able to kill them. They have to be in a certain place. So what happened? So Shlomo HaMelech, he was nervous about them, so he sent these two servants to a city called Luz. In the city of Luz, nobody died. So what happened? So then he got to the gate of the city, those two servants, and boom, they died. So then Shlomo HaMelech found the angel of death, and he asked him, he saw him smiling. He says, why are you smiling? He says, because every person has a precise moment and a precise place where his soul is supposed to depart. And what? These two servants were meant to die outside the city of Luz. I didn't know how they were going to get there. Baruch Hashem, they got there. Somehow they got there and I took their soul. The very effort Shlomo HaMelech tried to do to protect them ended up bringing them to their demise. Ended up bringing them to the place where the bad things are going to happen to them. So therefore, we don't know. We assume, do more ishtadlut, do more effort. Who says this effort is going to lead you somewhere better? Maybe nabarot. Maybe it's going to lead you to a place that's worse. So therefore, a person has to know the main thing is bitahon. A person has to have bitahon. He says the same thing applies for inyanei refuah. This is in medicine. A lot of people say we have to try more, and they have a different method and different medicine and different doctor and second opinion. We have to do more and more effort, and he trusts the doctors so much. He lives and dies by what the doctors say, and he forgot about HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how the doctor is just a tool in Hashem's hand. And Hashem says, I gave permission to the doctors to heal. But originally, what? You were supposed to believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Ramban writes that a person who has a high level of munah does not have to use doctors. He could just go and have a connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, pray that his ailment should go away because it's of sins, that's why he's suffering, and Hashem will heal him himself. Hashem is the original healer, right? But that's a very high level now. Most people have to go to doctors. But now that we do go to doctors, we have to have not only faith in them, we have to faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But what? He says, Tadir, hare Tadir mamash roim shofet oeh betiv mahala. Sometimes we see that a doctor, he makes a mistake in the nature of the illness, and not just does he make a mistake and doesn't make the patient better, he makes the patient worse. Medical malpractice. So therefore, what do you see from here? That too much effort doesn't always lead to good, and not just does it not lead always good, might not lead to any good, it might lead even to worse situations. So therefore, a person has to make sure that he has bitachon in Hashem and realizes it's not about my efforts. It's about doing ishtadlut, but the main salvation will come from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So therefore, there was a famous story, right, with the non-Jew who said, the astrologers told him, all your wealth will fall to the hand of a Jew. And he said, no, there's no such thing. I'm not going to allow this prophecy to happen. He took all his money, he bought a jewel, put it in his hat. He put it in his hat. He was walking over a bridge. The wind blew it. It fell into the water. A fish ate this jewel. There was a Jew named Yosef Mukir Shabbat. He would buy the fish, no matter what the price was for Shabbat. He bought the fish that day, even though they couldn't catch fish. There was one fish they were selling for a high price. He bought it. He cut it at home for a Shabbat, and he ended up becoming wealthy, fulfilling the prophecy. The guy thought he was running away from the prophecy. He was ending up fulfilling it to the T. So therefore, persons to know, you're going to get what you're going to get. Question is, how? Mutar way, asur way, it depends all on how much bitachon you have. Ben Ish Chai and Ben Yoyada says, there's no such thing as outsmarting Hashem. People think you can outsmart Hashem. Hashem sees way farther, and He planned way in advance than us. All we have to do is follow His way. And how do we follow His way? Having bitachon. Baruch